Okay.
Oh, hello. Now? Can hear.
Yeah, it's not. Once more.
Hello. And now it's working.
Out the stream.
Working. Test. Test. Okay. Uh, Hello everyone. These podcasts are not getting more easy. Every day some new trouble. But okay. Uh, Today has been a really hectic day. First, the Twitter exploded with India in the middle of the discussion with an SEC from US. There was a announcement of one very special guy. He is now 33rd chair of the SEC. Uh, he's Mr. Gary Gensler. Sorry if I haven't pronounced the name properly. The importance of SEC in our lives, especially in BitShares, is the many of you don't know, but BitShares used to be designed as a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, or distributed autonomous organization, however you prefer. Daniel, both with Vitalik, haven't really got to it, what's the real definition, but they were pretty close to it. After inception of BitShares, and now 7 years from that day, more than 7 years, we definitely learned that DAO as a permissionless blockchain without responsibility and immutable technology, how even Stan Larimer, father to Daniel Larimer, described in a few of his articles, blogs, was also not correct. We will always have to be redefined and checked by someone, because even the blockchain and technology cannot stop people from being people. Um, Wyoming, from 1st of July, is having a new type of an entity, and that type of an entity is DAO LLC. So Wyoming State in US is currently supporting any blockchain that has a governance and consensus like BitShares has and have and used to have to register as a company and to manage the company through the blockchain. So idea of BitShares Management Group in Thailand was to create a fork of BitShares that will be DAC, decentralized autonomous company. So we would be managing company through the blockchain and blockchain through the company. In that way, we would be preventing a lot of problems with governments. That's true. If they come to check us for the tax and revenue department, or SEC itself for any irregularities or paperwork or the what we did during the year or until that moment. We would be having a 3-second printout of everything what happened directly from the blockchain, and that would be matching the paperwork and the actions taken by the company. Wyoming recognized that in US. Even though we registered the typical LLC in Wyoming, BitShares US, earlier this year, we will be registering one more entity, and we are currently in the process of it. We'll be registering not through a US citizen, but not as a S corporation, but as a C corporation. So it will be DAO LLC, BitShares DAO LLC, that will have only one purpose: to bring BitShares blockchain and its consensus and voting to real estate where it needs to be. Governed, regulated, and accepted, recognized by the authorities, by the corporates, by the world itself. Because not being recognized and being moved away from the eyes of people was definitely not good for the blockchain itself, not for the holders of the blockchain, not for the investors of the blockchain, not for the developers of the blockchain, but only for a certain and limited group of people that were having most of the stake and most of the power, and they were completely unregulated. I have two favorites in the SEC. One is Mr. Gary, another one is Miss Pierce, Miss. I'm not sure if she married or not. They are fighting for the fairness, for the justice, for the right way of utilizing DLT in this life, while everybody else are preventing DLT to expand, as everybody wants to take the most of it that they can take for themselves, and that's in the textbook, that's state corporate organized crime. So if you consider that a DAO as a state with a governance of its own is there to prevent corporations, businesses built on top of the state, top of the blockchain, from any rigging, corruption, and misuse. BitShares, as the first concept of DAO and the first depots ever created, was the one that was approving and enabling actually people to go into state corporate crime model, where state is enabling corporations to rig the state budget for their own personal interests, protecting them as a state and giving them more power the more they take out. So vote buying, double voting with collateral, inability to change the laws because the holders, the groups, the corporations that are taking the most of the blockchain, aka the state, they're by taking the most of the supply, they're disabling forever anyone else to come and to confront them, because there is no supply left for anyone. So we are now busy to expand ourselves into the US, because US is the next boom in DLT, in crypto. It was for more than a decade removed nearly completely from the DLTs. We are all aware that a lot of US citizens were not able to have normal accounts, to have fiat, to crypto, to participate in a proper way. So they ended up on a dodgy exchanges. Most of them registered somewhere outside of China and US without any KYC. For US citizens to leave their real dollars. That was not really okay. So a lot of murky and dodgy businesses, some even government related, acquired a lot of real dollar, paper dollar, that was real and existing and meant to be used and utilized in the US, but ended up somewhere on the east or on the Middle East, on the other side of the planet, while that US citizens was unable even to do the claim and to get his money back, since he was already legally operating on some exchange, participating as a user. Uh, we are going to change that for the US. One of the companies that is first and foremost important in Wyoming, and I had experience to talk with an SEO and co-founder last night. Company name is StartPack. Maybe some of you heard about it, some of you haven't. StartPack is a company that is helping people to start a business in the US. They are one of the first companies that is supporting the DAO concept of an LLC. They helped already many to start. They haven't experienced what they did yesterday. I was a little bit even rude towards them, not by ill intention or having something bad on my mind, but they are explaining a lot of things that in US, for example, a lot of citizens don't know. Some even government officials or the SEC members are not aware of the laws completely and how everything works. 80% of the US doesn't even know what's the DLT, what's the difference between DAO and DAC, what's the difference between PO and POS. So it's a process where we have to educate people, to help them to find the real way how to understand everything what's going on, because rejecting crypto is definitely not a good idea. DLT is something that can change the complete economy, financial system, lots of different industries that are not even related to the finance, logistics, agriculture, governance, even deposits capable of replacing entire parliament everywhere in the world. So you can have an elected committee, the same like the SEC, they are self-elected committees, so the blockchain have committee members. BitShares blockchain have committee members that are not self-elected, they're elected by the stakeholders. In the past, they were elected in a wrong way, now they are being elected in a strict and more proper way. What I would be taking out from StartPack as a company, they have a complete guide to DAOs as a DAO LLC, and they are describing what is the blockchain, what is a decentralized autonomous organization, and guess what? The third paragraph in the part of what is decentralized autonomous organization DAO is saying the concept of a DAO was first introduced by Dan Larimer, the founder of BitShares, us, Steemit and EOS back in 2015, and then further refined by Ethereum's creator Vitalik Buterin a year later, but is now getting further attention as DAO LLCs are now recognized in Wyoming, which we will explain in more detail below. How are DAO created? They are a little bit lost as well on the real structure of a DAO. What are the disadvantages of DAO? Partnership is businesses, MIT license, yield of profits, how much value or the money can be spawned, what value can be fabricated, and it's all mostly true, but it's not really defined properly. Uh, if you look at the currency dollar used to be the currency that defines everything else, and all the other currencies would be adapting themselves towards dollar. Now, if you take a look that the dollar was printed, minted, uh, and backed by gold, you can take BitShares example that the bit assets, bit dollar, bit USD, was minted by collateralizing BTS, core utility token. 180% goes in the collateral to take out 100% of a dollar. That changed, same like it changed with the real dollar and gold, because when the people came in touch with the money, and they were never enough, and they will never be enough, most of the people, it went to hell. So dollar stopped being backed by gold in 1975, if I remember well. But the Federal Reserve still continue to print the dollar to this day without any issues. Even there is no gold that covers all the dollar printed from 1975 to 2021. With the blockchain, it's quite different. You have a BitShares blockchain that was the first DAO. You have a limited supply of 3.6 billion. Depending on the value of BTS, same like on the value of a gold, the pretty much defines how much you can print dollars or euros or yuan or whatever. So if you have limited supply, you have to manage that supply really well from the very own beginning, and you have to employ some honest, ethical, moral people that will take care of the funds properly, that will push the value and drive the value in a real way to go up and to not decrease over time, or to stop be of any interest towards anyone else except the ones who are printing the currency. In April 2021, Wyoming Governor Mark Gordon signed Bill 38, and that bill allows Wyoming to recognize DAO as LLC, and it took effect on July 1st of 2021. This new law, defines DAOs as a limited liability company whose articles of organization contain a statement that the company is a decentralized autonomous organization. That will not work unless they have a proper software that is backing that company. Because if you rely on a technology and on the people managing technology, regardless how many members that organization have, you still cannot prove or cannot know when they did misuse on the blockchain, and it will not be so obvious because blockchain is transparent ledger, immutable, and everything what they do seems to everyone very correct and very honest, very fair. They're public. Why were they doing something wrong in public? Because nobody will be looking. Everybody are busy with the value of the token, value of the how much can be printed, how much can be sold, how much can be bought back, and that's the game that never stops. BitShares was started, I will remind you from first video, BitShares was started as a blockchain that was missing 250 million BTS on the Genesis day. So on the first block of the BitShares 2.0, there were missing 250 million BTS, presented as a negative balances on the Genesis file. And that nobody knew and nobody removed or fixed as to show the real balance on the blockchain until 2020, when a bit more as a core developer did a patch as a part of Prelude core worker to show that we actually have more in circulation that our blockchain is showing, and that we don't have idea where that 250 million BTS is. Digital innovation technology, financial technology, elected committee on the blockchain, it's all nice when you look at from a side when you are being part of it, especially on a biggest and first blockchain such as BitShares, that is a living hell, and that's not so nice how it sounds. I will a little bit sort out the camera. Thank you. The legislation will require the DAO LLC to maintain a presence in a state through a registered agent, which is required of all LLC who register in a state, then their own access, then their own across the country. Like LLC, DAOs will be required to include the designation in their name such as DAO, DAO LLC, or LAO. As I said, we are incorporating BitShares DAO LLC. We have a EU trademark already registered on the BitShares name. We are busy also registering the trademark in the US on the BitShares name. It's not dynamically managed how they imagined. It's pretty much corrupted and centralized. It was more centralized before that it's centralized now. Blockchain cannot survive. They are all talking now about the Senate, how they want to violate privacy and this and that of the cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies never had a privacy. Blockchain is transparent ledger, Ethereum, Bitcoin, BitShares, it's irrelevant. You can see amount of the money, date, timestamp, from which account to which account went, from which wallet to which wallet. So if you want to be busy really chasing someone, you will eventually chase that account to the CEX, centralized exchange, where he have to exchange that money for real cash. Otherwise, crypto is no use to many. For example, if Americans form a DAO with citizens of other countries, the people from foreign nations will not be held liable if an American sues the DAO, because the damages can be recovered from American citizens' personal asset through the legal system. It would be up to those citizens to try to recover the damages from the other DAO stakeholders, which will likely prove difficult, if not impossible. That's true. That's true. We had 2 occasions when the one manager of the funds, I'm talking about big funds, 200 million BTS, 300 million BTS, he was managing the funds on behalf of the group of other people. He was playing the margin trading and with collateralized assets. Someone would be dumping the price to hurt him, and he would be losing all the money. There was no way that he will be held liable in a legal sense, because the blockchain on that time was not even recognized, especially not as a decentralized autonomous organization. And technically, any organization that misuse the money or lose the funds on a blockchain or outside of the blockchain someone would be beheaded. So in terms of mixing the cash with the people, TLTs and a blockchain doesn't help, and it doesn't eradicate the corruption, it doesn't eradicate the theft, it doesn't eradicate the injustice, unfairness, and the rest of the things. It just enables people to do it more easy, while having a excuse that it's all public and that nobody has the responsibility, because blockchain doesn't have an owner. Startback has a list of most successful DAOs, few most successful DAOs. First is BitShares. I believe that it's not because of the success, but because of the date of inception. It was the first DAO ever, first depots. But they defined it as a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. And I will repeat again, BitShares was never decentralized cryptocurrency exchange. We had many businesses that proven that statement is wrong. So Open Ledger Ronnie Boazing is now getting will be getting the legal problems, as he was selling a pitch and a marketing to people that their funds are safe, that nobody can touch their funds. And that was true, but BitShares and any other blockchain was never capable of doing any cross-chain transfers. So he would be acquiring the real funds into his gateway, issuing the user issued assets to his users of the exchange, and then he would not be touching those assets. But one day he disappeared with all the real assets from the gateways, leaving users the assets that are worthless because they cannot be moved anywhere and they will stay in BitShares blockchain forever. That did George BitSpark, that did CryptoBridge. Then people lost their some of them lost everything. Some of them lost houses, some of them lost savings, some of them lost a lot by trusting the technology that was promised to protect people and their money, to bank the unbanked, to enable the third party of the world, third world countries such as Africa, South America, where people don't have access to the bank, and to be safe. That was not true. That was a lie. And DLT as a blockchain helped some of very bad actors to rip off the people in very not nice way. Worse than the banks, worse than the governments, worse than anything that anyone can imagine. So me as a blockchain enthusiast, I I gave 3 years and 7 months of my life, 24/7. The guest that will be joining soon is a living proof for it, and a few other people who are still in BitShares. That we did impossible. We did we striked in a real life. You cannot change the government. You cannot pass the bill when you want. You cannot alter any corruption. You cannot remove people how you want. But on a blockchain, you can, if you are smart enough to apply the real life laws on the blockchain, and using that real life laws, protect the blockchain from bad actors, and eventually centralize it to the point where it cannot be misused to exploit anyone, or to be misused for something that was never meant to be used. So back to the list: BitShares, Digix Global, Dash, Augur, Steemit, MakerDAO, DXDAO. MakerDAO is most professional solution, if I'm being asked. Dash is the company that operates on a blockchain. You were always able to join Dash if you pay enough money. You'll be always having a limit how much you can participate in the ecosystem and the governance, and it would be done in a very corporate way, so there were never a governance that can replace a structure of a government of a country, but more a corporate solution. Steemit, my first comment on my first post on Steemit was promising Ned Scott that I will disperse him into thin air, because the things that he was talking next to Daniel Larimer didn't have any sense. And in the end, it was proven that I was not wrong. Justin Sun acquired Steemit, leaving a lot of developers and holders without what was promised to them for all the work from all that years, from 2016 to 2020. So someone lost 4 years of savings, work and time, so someone can just come and purchase the company and acquire entire blockchain with all the funds that the company owns. BitShares was different. BitShares didn't have a company, BitShares didn't have an owner. Everybody wanted to be permissionless, nobody wanted to take responsibility, but everybody wanted to take the funds out. So on the outside, we had the perfect structure. BitShares Blockchain Foundation, a non-profit legal representative of the blockchain, who is taking 2.5 million a year but not doing nothing. Nobody can come and claim and prove that they are doing nothing, because nobody is willing to enter any agreement, legal agreement with the company, because they all want to stay behind the closed doors. Now, the question being imposed to everyone who watch this and who are thinking how insane I can be, and why I tagged the SEC Gov US in my Twitter for this specific event is that what are you hiding? What's your problem? You're on a transparent, immutable ledger, you have the perfect tech, and you don't want to identify yourself. Why is that? You don't want to pay the tax? Reminder, we the people wanted to have laws and the government. And then we the people became too greedy and exploited our own laws and our own governments for our own benefits and self-profits, self-interest, at the cost of other people. So we the people are the problem, not the governments, not the laws. The people are the problem. And as long as the people are the problem, there will be no any solution into how crypto can save the world or how the technology will change anything to be better. So we have to keep in mind that we the people have to protect everything. Is that in a building written on a paper, or is that written in a smart contract on a blockchain? We the people are the one who are responsible for what we write, how we execute it, or how technology execute it, and when it's not executing it well, we the people have to impose some, maybe not, I cannot say by the law, but justice and fair, ethical and moral things, actions to fix the problem. BitShares had a huge problem of vote buying, double voting with collateral, low price, limited supply that was taken out too quickly, inability for any newcomer to acquire supply that can compete with already existing holders, and it eventually ended up as a black DAO that don't have a future and that had depressed price for nearly 2 years. Once in 2019, when the holders of See and Vote, aligned with few other groups, stopped entire development, marketing, progress of the blockchain, but continued to taking out 60 million BTS for market making, where just them and their people and their group would be winning all the profits, yield all the profits. I was clear, I was the only one who was clear on entire blockchain that there is no negotiation with people like that. And that we the people in that moment just became me and a few other individuals against more than 3,000 activists on the blockchain holding more than 650, 700, 800 million BTS in voting. Some of them, that 800 million BTS or few hundred million BTS, were able to double through collateral voting. So the thing that would be happening is that they will be going, they first reduced the collateral amount from 180 to 120%. They locked the bit assets and witnesses, block producers, to feed the fake price, and everything stopped to have sense. And they became unstoppable. They had the double power. They had the difference of the price between the outside sources, the taxes where we are trading BTS for the money, and the blockchain where it's being presented and valued much more than outside of the blockchain. So imagine if you count that $1 is worth, this is just a example, and it's not real example. $1 is worth 10 euro. But it's worth only in the US. Once the dollar leaves US, so once the American citizens, US citizens flies to Europe, €1 is worth $10. And he says, wow, what can I do now? I came for a trip, for a holiday, and I brought only $500, expecting that I would have 5,000 euros in return. But no, he have only $50. And he is dead. So that in real life could never happen, but as you can see, first blockchain, first DAO that was created was enabling people to do so, and was enabling people to break the laws even more, to to cut everything into pieces and to disable everyone from living even around that blockchain, not being able to survive. And many of us actually devoted our time, lives, and families and everything what we had to develop that blockchain, to evolve it into something more, something better. So the conclusion is that we are starting a DAO LLC in Wyoming. It will not be just BitShares blockchain. It will be three different variants. One is the original BitShares and two forks of it. One is a Thai-based fork that will operate in the US as a DAO, and another one will be a clean fork for just US jurisdiction. That will be a new blockchain. To try to see how we will prove that the DAO can work with the patches and with the restrictions and with the limits and with the filters that we applied against the consensus of original DAO that Daniel Larimer created since last year. So I invite, this is an open invite to Mr. Gary and Mrs. My apologies, Pierce, to support and welcome us when we come there, because we will need help as we are not US citizens. We need help and we need support as we are doing something new, completely new. There is no other blockchain that has these filters, that has these parameters, that has these restrictions, that has this fairness for everyone to participate properly, that is distinguishing the investor and trader very clearly, that the investor who has good intentions and is willing to manage the company will actually come and invest his money into the shares tokens portion of supply to be able to do so. And that one who comes to do that, he will not be able to trade his investment, but he will be able just to invest the money and then to manage the blockchain with a locked investment with the blockchain, where there would be no unfair situations like the BitShares had in the past. So if the investor comes to manage the blockchain, he locks the money, and he locked the money with the blockchain. He can vote. He can decide what the company LLC will be doing, where the investments from the workers will go, who will be the committee, who will be the block producer, where the funds will go, how the funds will come in, and that's the people that need to do, as they call themselves, investors. Investor who comes in and holds a liquid token and can trade, can borrow, can vote, can do everything. That's not a serious investor. That's not even an investor, because he's holding his own money and he's doing with him whatever he wants. One day he's investor, tomorrow he can take out all the supply, sell it to someone unknown, and there would be no repercussions to him or to that person that bought, because that would be just change of power to continue corruption and misuse on the blockchain that nobody can control. That was BitShares for long 6 years, until the last year. We don't need help in incorporating the company. We need help of being recognized and being registered with an SEC, because currently we're in the process as a BitShares management group called OTD to get approval of the SEC. Once we meet all the requirements, after we get approval in Thailand, we will go for the public company. And our idea was to, before Wyoming signed and approved the new bill, was to manage the company and to create from BitShares DAO, DAC, Decentralized Autonomous Company. And now we see the opportunity to spread that to two different continents, two different jurisdictions in two different ways, and see which one will work better, DAC or DAO. Ethereum was never DAO. Ethereum was never DAC. Ethereum was just a nonsense. It still is. I mean, you changing from POV to DPOS, destroying all the miners and all the liquidity and supply that they earned with a lot of investments, with a lot of nights not sleeping, setting up their rigs to mine, adapting to every protocol update, and so on and so on and so on. You suddenly saying, yeah, you cannot mine anymore. Now you can just produce blocks, and you'll be rewarded for that, and that's it. That's illegal. That's illegal. It's same like if someday you remove completely the bank out of existence, but the bank is destroying the value of the money that it holds for their citizens, clients, call it whatever. So there is no serious business around crypto. CoinMarketCap is full of nonsense. I do respect some of the USD Tether is also nonsense. USD coin, USDC by Circle is, for example, something that has meaning. And we plan to expand ourselves and to enable ourselves for the partnerships that are valued, that are fair, and that have a goal of a healthy business or innovations or improvement, not just for ourselves, but for the greater and general good. I will be adding now the guest, Ross Walker, my dear friend and colleague, who entered all of this with me 4 years ago and is still here to this day. He was content manager and still is of everything around BitShares for the past 3 years. Now he's moving to Thailand to take over the position of director of operations, because the company that is even being run by the blockchain is still relying on the people that are utilizing the blockchain to run the company. And without someone overseeing operations, managing the company, managing even the operations in which way they will go, is impossible. There is no technology or AI that can distinguish is a person with malicious intent or good intent. There is no sense that someone can say that we now today have already technology so advanced that can scan people and say, you are a good person, okay, you can do. You are not a good person, you cannot do. You are lazy. There is no that tech. There is no, even people who are themselves, we, the people, sometimes cannot say truthfully about ourselves who we are and what we do and what are our goals and what will be in the end. Many people are undefined, worse than a code. So code being defined doesn't change the user of the code, and that's inevitable truth that everybody in the world have to accept. I'm big kudos to Ross. Ross, you may unmute yourself in the. Here is Ross. Yeah, he's currently in UK, and he'll be moving in next 2-3 weeks to Thailand, back where he was and where he belongs, to continue managing what we started about 3-4 years ago. So Ross, say hello.
Hi guys.
Ross is someone who also in the beginning wasn't understanding what's going on. It was really complicated for anyone who didn't have experience with the government corruption to understand what blockchain actually does. Over time he seen what I've seen, and we are fighting the battle already a long time together on this blockchain and in general in crypto world. So Ross, you tell us a little bit about what BitShares went through as a corporate. We started the corporate restructure 2017, how I believe. So you can tell a little bit about what's the importance of the content and the stuff that we did to prove the everything what I said until now.
Yeah, I believe starting from 2017, when we first did our blog posts not under BitShares News, but under our own profiles, and we identified there wasn't a company representing BitShares. There wasn't someone stepping up to really take this forward, in a logical sense. And I think in your introduction just now was a very nice story about a very nice moral to the tale about the right kind of governance versus governance by people, which was chaos. So that was always our philosophy from the beginning, that we need a good presence for BitShares and a corporate outlook, and that includes branding, and that's really where the content evolved from the beginning, that we needed consistent articles and good updates around our project where people could find out better information and could see that we were, not just a whole decentralized community posting things everywhere, but something more consolidated.
That's pretty much true. You can go and check out news.bitshares.org. There is about 70 articles that are slowly introducing one by one what's going on and how we were adapting ourselves to the entire story and trying to wake up others to see the same things that we did. Unfortunately, we the people we have tendency to be proud, to be ignorant, to think that we know the best. Everybody makes mistakes. I was making huge mistakes, but very few can admit mistakes, fix themselves, work on themselves, and try to be better people. So if someone thinks that we never did anything wrong, we did. We were all ignorant, if not towards the whole truth, then towards some individual that was maybe not wrong, and we were ignorant to see him completely wrong. And eventually we learned our lesson to stop talking and to take actions into our own hands, because nobody else will do it for us. We eventually ended up being stretched between or we will die or we will survive, literally, because the blockchain as a innovation, BitShares being ahead of time, ahead of anyone else since the inception date, just wrongly configured. We were facing the big problem of not having supply. Originally, BitShares was meant to last forever. It can be self-sustainable. It can be. It could live and it could work for decades, for maybe even a century without dying. But we ended up that after 6 years, we realized that only $500 million is left, that the value is 2 cents, and that we cannot even mint tokens in a proper way, because that would be the end of the blockchain. When the blockchain comes to the zero, that nothing is left in the reserve pool, that would be the end. No workers, no block producers, nothing to do, nothing to operate on, and that was not profitable and not healthy. So in a terms that we did a lot of mistakes as people who took it too lightly and too immature as something that will be self-aware of what it's doing, we all did wrong. Some of us changed that with the actions and with the course of the actions that we took. Some had a change of heart. Some had a last-minute wake-up call, like myself, towards the main core developer that I will shoot out every time when I pop up in the screens. That's Anonymous Say It More, and there is no explanation for what he did, except for people who were ignorant to go and read by themselves all the documents, to go and review the history of the blockchain, to go and compare the work of Daniel Larimer, Vitalik Buterin, Charles Hoskinson, and a bit more. And Charles was never, for example, a developer. He's a mathematician. He was the logic. Daniel was developer with with idea how the things should be, with a belief as a patriot that all the Americans should be free and all the people in the world. But they missed that point where that was not the point at all. And the point was that they had to improve themselves before they can improve the blockchain. And they never did. Charles is chasing 7 years later the ghosts and the demons that are haunting him like hell of the things that he wanted to do but he couldn't. For example, now he's doing the smart contracts, the stable currencies on Cardano, which is nonsense. He's too late for it. Daniel tried 3 times BitShares, then Steemit, then EOS. All 3 times failed because he didn't want to accept the fact that the technology cannot change the world. That if it's not the Chinese, it will be American. If it's not American, it will be Australian. But there will be always a bad, faulty player that will promise everything beautiful, and then when he thinks he has everything, he has nothing in that point. To not stretch this more, we are announcing now that we are starting the BitShares DAO LLC in the US, that it will be operated by the blockchain, that it will have a consensus that is really close to perfection. If it's not free as the BitShares was, it's pretty strict, it's pretty limited, it's pretty filtered, but at least we will know what's going on and how it's going to be. So we cannot rely on venture capitalists, hedge funds, and just cash. That's not the solution. That was never the solution. Because if we are relying on the cash, the sense and point of a blockchain as a currency and as a future financial solution is not really a solution, as the cash was already the problem from the beginning. Putting cash into the blockchain just make the blockchain problem, not opposite way. Not blockchain fixing the problem of a cash, but making a problem. I will always support the people from the government and outside the government who are for the fairness and justice, the equality, the right of all to be free. And I will always go against the ones that are depressing us, who want to be free and who are fair and correct. And probably I will always be the one who is not loved and respected and whatever. But I'm okay with it. I'm not having problem with who I am, what I did wrong, what I haven't done wrong. And that's maybe the most annoying thing about me. We announced in this podcast that we have one event to announce. I jumped off from a call with with 2 really nice guys from Detroit, Michigan. They're doing the events for a long time already. How I managed to follow up with that was a brief call, less than 30 minutes. They were in a rush. I had to explain a little bit more than usually they do in a calls related to the business. And we came to the point where we will start collaborating with them, as they are someone who is for the interest in the reality and truth of things, and very interested into presenting the real value of the blockchain as it is. So I'm talking about Benzinga. They were mostly focused on the stocks, on the innovations, and recently they dived into the crypto. Benzinga is someone who is really interesting and making now event on 31st of August. It will be the crypto festival. offered us to be the sponsor and to have a speech, 15 minutes with the 5 minutes Q&A. I believe the festival will last 2 days for sure, 3 days max. Um, the event that they are doing now is probably the best thing that could happen in the best moment for us, because the previous events they did is the reopening stock summit, boot camp, electric vehicles conference, healthcare small cap conference, benzene all access stocks, cannabis capital conference. So they are exploring actually everything that has a value and that means to this world, but people are not seeing it in a proper way. They have very nice team, they are young, they are enthusiastic, and they listen well when you are talking to them. So I managed in 15 minutes to explain to them that BitShares is not what they think it is, that crypto and the DLTs are not what everybody thinks it is, and that I'm interested to work with them only if they are willing to accept the real truth about it, which is not nice. And that's how we came to agreement that we will go for this event, Benzene Crypto Trading Festival. It will start on Tuesday, August 31st. It ends on Wednesday, September 1st. Maybe it will last one more day, but that I cannot promise, that they don't even know. So BitShares is coming to the US again to advertise itself on a really big and nice, healthy door. Uh, and I hope that people from the US who heard before about BitShares or never heard about BitShares, or the people who are in stock, in stock trading, in securities in general, will be or find the interest to hear the story how the blockchain is becoming a stock from being completely legal, permissionless, without owner, a bunch of corrupted and bad people to something completely normal and completely corporate and business. So we are coming to the event in the US on 31st of August, Benzinga Crypto Trading Festival. I will say one more time. And we hope for the best. We don't expect anything, we don't want anything, we want to spread the truth, and we want to get the proper attention that we never had. Now, I will be asking Ross to, if he remembers, to say how hard it was to review the agreement that we wrote in 2018, rewrite in 2019, and never published. What would be the terms of use for the blockchain itself if we would ever had to impose such terms on the blockchain?
That was a rabbit hole.
Yeah, that was a rabbit hole. Please say a few words. How many different agreements we tried to combine to find the way to protect immutable ledger without owner, but again imposing restrictions on the users that come to it to not be able
It's
to.
too difficult. It's not as straightforward as a website service or a subscription or a product or a car you buy. It was endlessly complex. So
Hence we never finished it. Instead, me and David Moore took over the blockchain using the MIT license, trademark, and ownership of the domain BitShares.org, because that was the only legal way. Blockchain is a software, MIT licenses. It comes with no warranty, and obligation of the developer that see that software is doing something wrong is to fix the software. So that happened. It was protected by trademark, and it will never happen again, unless someone finds a way to put us again into a rabbit hole. Another thing that was announced for tonight is the Stake BTS update. We had some legal counseling with 3 different attorneys here locally in Thailand. Until now, we were allowing individuals actually one general way of staking the funds. The stake BTS is just brief uh, process where the nominator comes and stakes with the basic KYC the BTS into the blockchain account. Blockchain account go to the BitShares exchange. BitShares exchange have a corporate deal with the BitShares management group, and we are not taking money into the Thailand. We are not trading for Thai people. Thai people are actually not have access. If you go to a form, select Thailand, fill in the form. At the end of the form, you will be told that Southeast Asia is not licensed to do so, while the Europe and the rest, according to the BitShares exchange, is, and the funds are being traded mostly there. We are now having two types of the accounts. One is the individual, another one is the business organization corporate account that can make a stake, lock the funds to earn yield profits on 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, depend what people decide to do. Now individuals are restricted now to 1 million BTS max, while the companies are not restricted for up to I believe 15 million. There is still discussion, is it 10 or 15 million, but it goes for the individuals from 0 to 1 million, for the businesses and organizations from 1 million to 10 to 15 million. Our goal is to create the profits using daily trading, paying corporate taxes on it, and legalizing the money that is in the blockchain through the governments that are having the exchanges registered and incorporated in proper way to do so. While nobody can come and impose any restriction on us, we are enjoying the daily trading. I personally enjoy daily trading to create the profits for the people, to create rewards for the people who are willing to make a difference and who believe in what we are doing. We will be going for the public IPO stock in Thailand, probably by February 2022. And to do so, we need to have 50 million baht, nearly $2 million, 800 something thousand dollars US in Thai baht on the company account, plus to have a revenue 250 to 300 million baht, which is nearly $10 million per year for the 2 years period. And that's why we are hitting the end of this year and the beginning of the next year, so we can be able to, in period of less than 2 years, present 2 years of revenue that satisfy the requirements of the SEC and the Thai stock market, Thai law when it comes to public companies. There is no any defined period how long the stake BTS will last. It will last until we raise the funds. Funds are 20 million BTS. 20 million BTS is enough to create enough profits for everyone and to enable us to have more than we need. Just from trading, apart from trading, we are investing and buying the properties from Kaifax. That's the in Thailand option to take a loan by giving your property as a guarantee, but you are selling the property the same second when you are taking a loan. So it's not a loan. It's considered as a loan because that Kaifax agreement is giving you a right, an option to buy back your own property in a period of year, 2 years, 3 years, depends how long is the agreement. And unfortunately, COVID situation was very bad for majority of the planet, especially in Thailand. People lost jobs, lost income, were unable to pay, and we the people are greedy and selfish and we will not give anyone nothing for free. So a lot of people lost their Kaifax, and the owners, the new owners who did the loan, are not asking for the full market price of the properties. They are asking for the amount of the loan they gave just to recuperate themselves for the money that is currently stuck in a property. So we found a way how to 40 to 60% investment becomes 100% of the value. You pay 40, you get 100, and it's illegal. We are picking very carefully only exclusive properties, land and equity. After the SEC is done and passed, we will also enable rate. Rate is similar to hedge funds, just for the real estates, and you're not managing just funds, you're managing the properties as well. Many people don't understand why and how, and it's not meant to be explained to everyone, because then everybody would be in that business. It's very complicated, it takes time, it takes a lot of experience to in finance and real estate to combine it and to understand what's rate. We don't have any problem to explain anyone who really have capability or ability to understand such process, but we are not being busy to explain too much, or on a website, or on a one-to-one to every user of BitShares, or every user who wants to stake and to see how the profits are being made. Profits are being made, taxes being paid, no problem there, as long as the company is doing what the company originally promised. If someone asks why I'm not so much involved in legal terms, as a foreigner, I don't have a reason to be corner of anything in Thailand, because like any other country, it will always protect its own citizens first, and that's normal. I salute that. I'm a founder of all the for-profits without participating in for-profit. I'm having a status of a special advisor in all of them, because people cannot manage it without me telling them, or Ross telling them, or Kevin, who you met, telling them what can be the problem and how it needs to be managed. My official skill is a venture architect. So I'm the guy who has to see where it comes from, how it will come, where it will go, how it will go, and to follow up the entire process, sometimes even finding more or taking out from what was invested to return back, or to create the impossible situation where nobody will get damage. So I'm not a venture capitalist, I'm not a hedge fund manager, I'm the venture architect, and my job is to make sure that the goals and objectives are being achieved in a transparent, legal, and without any penalties or losses from the beginning until the end. Only one who can lose is me along the way, and that's it. So don't be busy with who has what position, because we are doing the things the best we know. We are not being busy to be smart with something that you don't know. That's not good, and that will not end up in any good ending, happy ending, how Thai people say that. And we are just at the beginning. So opening 3 more companies in the US, in Gibraltar, in Middle East, is not something, Singapore, eventually Australia, it's not something that you just give the money and open, because that anyone can do. Problem is what you do with the company after the opening. And we want to apply with the SEC or the FinCEN, or with any regulatory that we have to in each of those countries, in each of those jurisdictions. That takes time, not just money. It takes skills, takes knowledge, takes caution to not hire the wrong lawyer, to not sign the wrong paper, to not make the wrong move, because one subsidiary can cost all other subsidiaries in all chain of companies up to the mother company everything, and then everything would be done for nothing. So a lot of people from BitShares will be moving to Thailand. I will now announce the full list that I expect to see here, and I would love to see them here. Some of them are still thinking on the offer that I gave. The offers are nothing special, but they do have at the end quite big reward, and they can all see a long-term goal that I see for a long time, and I haven't given up on it. Even I was never rewarded in a proper sense. Ross Walker, Kevin Job, Michael Taggart, Christopher Sanborn should be coming to oversee the operations, to be the executive management, to be the support, to be the Dr. Christopher Sanborn, if he comes, if he decides to come and accept my offer, he would be coming here to be professor, not to be a developer. And his main goal would be to educate the students and the young people, the youth that no have ability or no have chance to maybe learn something like that, to educate itself in that way, but is willing and has the capability of learning more. So who cannot afford and can achieve, it will be in our first plan, first picture to be given opportunity to learn what most ethical and most hardworking people ever I've seen, to pass that knowledge and to continue where we definitely will not stay forever. We gave already many years of our lives. We will not live forever. We are not seeing our own kids. We are not spending time with our own families because we are trying to do something different for the world. While everybody are saying that we are trying to make money, that we are taking the money. We never did. Blockchain is immutable ledger, it's transparent, and you can go check. We invested our own money in the end. Were holders who had 20, 50, 100 times more than we did. Some are millionaires, some are billionaires. Didn't invest nothing over the period of double than us. Double longer period than us, no, they didn't invest it. So, haven't invested. So, we are asking openly and publicly now that all of you who are interested into DLTs, all of you who understand what I'm talking about, what we've been through and what we are going to go through, to come and support us, because united we are stronger, we the people. Not the blockchain, not the funds, not the reserve pool, not the salaries, not the contracts, not the agreements between the people, but we the people ourselves. It took me 24 months to select the people that are really valuable, excluding Ross and a few others that I know from the beginning. We cannot do nothing without core developer a bit more. We cannot do nothing without the collaborators that left the BitShares blockchain because of the what happened 2019, but still are with us in contact and still working for that same blockchain. Some of them even free because they know what we are doing. We need more people like that. We cannot disperse ourselves, 10 of us, over the 4 continents and achieve everything what we have to achieve, and we cannot trust a random agent that they will do best for the best interest of us and our companies, because everybody are nowadays looking only their own interests. I would be asking Ross to say quickly, if he can, how much content of white paper and BitShares.org has to change compared to the old one, the original one, the one that Daniel Larimer wrote, that then what BBF3 wrote, and what we have to do now, and how much work is that to change just 12 pages on a website that is describing technology.
Quite a bit, because I think some of the early rules have changed quite significantly, but it still retains its original concepts. However, there are a lot of things which stand out like sore thumbs and have changed since and need to be modernized, shall we say.
Stakeholder approved funding doesn't exist anymore.
New functionality, new features, staking, everything as well, yeah.
Yes, yes,
There's a
correct.
lot of stuff. The more you think about it.
So the point of my question was not to say how much we have to work, but how much we are defining the law and the new structure and the new logic along the way.
Yeah,
How much we are learning decentralization over time. You know, Daniel Lehman and Vitalik came 2014 and 13 when Vitalik was just 20, 21, 22 years old,
yeah,
to define what's a decentralized autonomous organization. Even he never had one, never managed one, never seen one, but he defined one. You have to have a little bit thick skin to go through corporate and conglomerate world of nastiness and most beautiful pleasures that some company can give you, some investor can offer you, to fall down very hard on your face. And,
I
and
think there was a lot of idealism in those early days, wasn't there? So it's
still,
making it
it's
reality
still,
now, and they're
it's
learning
still,
from it.
yes,
So it's
yes.
an evolution still. It's an evolution.
Yeah, but the problem is that evolution is being again manipulated. The media and
Yeah,
information is becoming misinformation. The things that they are doing now are just out of context of what blockchain is really and what it should be used. And it should be used
yeah.
everywhere. And
Well, they should date.
but
Yeah,
Daniel stepped down from EOS because he realized after 3 blockchains that what I'm saying, that the people are the problem, they will never change. That's true, but he's still trying to push more into it. Charles is trying to achieve something
yeah.
that is not even
On his own. Yeah,
valuable anymore. Creating a stable currency on a blockchain that is late 7 years for the stable currency
yeah.
is not really an innovation. And instead
Done.
of being busy with innovating something, uh, he's being busy of satisfying his ego and hurt emotions,
Right.
feelings from the past. So people who earn money and reputation are being busy spending it to on unnecessary things. And for example, if everybody would stop and sit down together on a blockchain, on a table, uh, maybe they would be able to find the improvement for each and every blockchain we hold, and find a purpose in different industries, in different uh, use cases, and improve actually the world and help the governments to understand us better. But I don't see anyone doing so, so I don't hope for it. Updates of the development will be very quick. BitShares.org website is finally going through to a serious redesign and rebranding. Um, Everything is protected by the trademark. We are going into a catchy and modern design that before wasn't existing. We are relaunching the products that people gave up on a long time ago. We are improving the products constantly. We are launching 6.0 soon that will have flash loans on a core level, and we are launching, yes, the NFTs in August. Will the NFTs will be accepted in USA by the BitShares blockchain? We have to first see, will we be accepted as a DAO LLC in US? Will we be accepted by the SEC in US? And if we are accepted by the SEC in US, then registering a company that can do auctioning, which is the NFT, which are the NFTs, that would be no problem. But people, yes, will have to pay the tax, people will have to pay the fees, and people will have to take it seriously. I mean, running a wild west on a blockchain and outside the blockchain is not the solution. How the world will be a better place for living. And I do have a kid, and Ross have a kid, and Stefan has kids, and Fabian have kids, and everybody have someone that they want to leave this world to, and we are all worried what we are leaving them into, because world is not being given them into the hands; they are being given to the hands of the world, which is nasty. The reasoning for the long podcasts instead of 30 to 45 minutes is because a lot of things is going on. One of the most important thing is that the listing request of Exit.com was started and successfully is progressing towards its conclusion. BTS will not be listed on any corrupted, manipulative, wash trading exchange who is into illegal activities, including Binance. No, we will not be paying listing $150,000 on the renowned real exchanges every time when we do the listing. We will do that when we complete our delisting sessions with all the corrupted ones. We will be buying back from the Binance all the supply that we can through stake BTS, through property management, through whatever we can, because 800 million is not a little bit, while just 30 million is being held on the order books. We will do our best that we can to buy back 1 billion BTS by that February, if not by February 2022, then by April, because pre-IPO condition will help us to buy more supply. Once we refill the blockchain, once we burn back money into the reserve pool, we will be able to see how to maybe restart the DAO in its true sense again, with being a state that is not into state corporate crime, but the state that will protect people from corporations and at the same time enable corporations to build and to grow in their state, on top of their state, as independent contractors and businesses that should be. We are not accepting any investors, we are not making any deals, we are not being busy with anyone. We will be having a meeting with Circle, the USDC, USD coin. We'll be having a meeting with Heat Muchena from Africa. We want to really unbank we really want to enable people who don't have access to the banks or cash to be able to pay the bills, move on with their lives, and not sell them a fog that BitSpark or OpenLedger or someone else did in the past, as we now have intention of hurting people and we have intention to keep the BitShares at least 20 more years as a technology that will be active, used, and after the entire cleanup of CoinMarketCap passes, in the last 20 or 50 blockchains that are staying on feet and serving this world for real use cases in real life. The last and not least, today when I opened the conversation of I opened it on Mr. Gary's Twitter. He just opened the Twitter and started to be active on it as a 33rd chair of the SEC in US. We got a big. I got personal support from India, and they are also unbanked. They are also depressed, and the responses and the communication between the people, the unity and the ability to hear, to listen, to understand the truth was amazing. I've gained 200 followers in one day, and I decided to 1,000 follower today. That came to follow up my account. I decided to give him 1,000 BTS as a reward. 1,000 follower, 1,000 BTS. I got his account, and I will now publicly during this send to his account 1,000 BTS using the BitShares blockchain that needs just 3 seconds to complete the transaction, and it takes less than 10 cents from me to him to send him that money, which no other blockchain can do, and especially not in a safe and secure way as BitShares does. So his account is, my account is dls.cipher, abbreviation of the digital Lucifer. Just a second. his account is MEMESNA. AP3044. I'm a little bit slow, please excuse me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning in Asia, so I'm a little bit tired from everything. So he's a basic member, and he's receiving now a transfer with a memo that is saying thank you to thank you for your support, trust, and patience for this watch. We have support also from currency.com and capital.com from Gibraltar. They're the legitimate exchange. Currently fee on the blockchain is 0.97 BTS, which is, you believe it or not, yeah, it it's just around 4 cents. So 4 cents it costs to do a swift transfer to another country that lasts only 3 seconds, and the money is already in his account. That's it. Blocks done, confirmed, irreversible. He has the money in the account, and I will publish on Twitter now the photo, which you can check in chat. So this is his account. Here. We will add some hashtags. This is BitShares. There is a marketing campaign that I've started with David somewhere around early this year. Rise of the Legend. Rise of the Legend because we became legend over time. Something that people remember, but nobody knows what is it. And to be clear, for everyone who thinks that the BitShares is a decentralized exchange, no, it's not. It's a blockchain with its own governance and consensus, a technology that serves a lot more functionalities than just an inbuilt DEX, and decentralized and a safe exchange is as long as you trade only BTS and its native community issued assets that are being printed into existence, not being held and not have any gateway available around. So as long as you trade the assets that cannot leave the BitShares blockchain except the BTS core token, you are safe. The moment when you enter the CEX and the exchange, you are giving your money into a third party, into intermediary that holds your money, and they can disappear any day. We will be starting our own exchange on top of the BitShares as a for-profit with our own gateways, but that takes time as well. The tweet is out. I will paste the link of the tweet in the YouTube live chat so people know it actually happened. And this is not just a story. So So here is the link in the YouTube. I will also paste the link directly to the wallet account so you can verify that it's not a fake photo. This is it. I'm happy to see John Robert. I'm happy to see Kevin Job, Ahnamus, all of them. Yeah, sometimes echo, but it's okay. Can you say BTS is going to be NFT? I will explain short and brief. BTS was NFT capable since the day we had user issued assets. NFT is just addition to the structure of user issued asset, nothing more. And it has max supply one, issued supply one owner, and cannot be transferred back, cannot be moved away. It can only stay with the owner that purchased it. BT is gonna be NFT in USA. We don't know. It's all up to USA and the SEC there. We know that there are legal means to promote and expand markets of NFTs in the US, but how much US is willing to do so, we will see. We will be doing a giveaway, so anyone who wants to give his address, he can DM me on Twitter. He can send on the contact form by using contact form on BitShares.org. We have white variant of t-shirt. This is BitShares Rise of the Legend campaign. We have black variant of t-shirts, the same, and we have the most beautiful and elegant original BitShares t-shirts, same like I'm wearing now, in the sizes S, M, and L. We will be delivering to any part of the world at our own cost. So if you're interested, even after this live, in the next few following days, you can DM me your address and details. We will post you and ship you the t-shirt as a gift. I don't see any questions in the YouTube live. I don't want to answer any questions. Ross, do you want to say something?
No, apart from thank you. It was a good session.
Yeah,
and I like the beginning part. There was a very nice contrast about governance and regulators, but taking it in the context of how BitShares was and how we're going, it's really nice. It's good.
Thanks. We will be busy to present the world and anyone who wants to listen more that the governments are not the problem, the blockchain are not the problem, the investors are not the problem, people as humankind is the problem. Yes. How we call it, even developers, when we sit, or system admins, network admins, when we sit and do something, there is always that first thing that you say, human error. That must be the problem. It's not a software fault, it's a human error fault. So that will be it for now. I think we covered all the topics that we promised that we will cover. Ross will be busy with corporate update article in next 2-3 days. We will be releasing the article of changes in the stake logic and the stake rules, and we will be pushing one important thing over the next maybe 7 to 10 days, but that I will not announce now. we have to push the truth. We have to remove the evil and the malicious and anything with bad intent around, because we will not move anywhere. We have to buy
Yeah.
back the supply. We have to push ourselves into the legal and corporate standing, because staying under the radar and uh, being part of something that don't want to be legal is already a crime. And as I said at the beginning, what are you all hiding from? What do you have to hide? Do you make money? Pay the tax on it. You don't make money? Complain about it. Maybe you will get a job.
Yeah.
Maybe you will get the money. But saying that you want privacy, yeah, you have privacy in your home. You have privacy that nobody knows how much money you have, maybe, except the government who is looking into your account. They are looking into your account because they also know that the human error exists, and that maybe you will move some money that doesn't need to be moved, that maybe there is involvement of drug or arms dealing, or the gods forbid, maybe even the child abuse, there are plenty of things that people are using the blockchain for that are illegal, and it's not just yielding the profits that are not taxed, and there is a sense to it that it needs to become legal. I don't support that blockchain needs to have a KYC, but I do support that products on top needs to have a KYC after all the governments of the world define the law so it's acceptable and having sense to everyone, so that everyone can use it and not be afraid to use it.
Yeah, I agree. Privacy isn't an issue in that, with something like Facebook, privacy is an issue where people's privacy is being exploited. Blockchain's a product, something for people to use, and we want it to be accepted on a global scale. Well, it's not going to be possible to make something accessible on a global scale unless it passes different government regulations and laws, and it's legal and it's out in the open, and it's something that's good and not, dark. So, yeah, that's where we go. Light.
The conclusion is that a team of 10 people managed to remove corruption of few thousand. And they had much more than we ever had. But they didn't have one thing, a clear goal and heart in the right place. Also, hands in their own pockets, not in our pockets. So there is that to it. I will continue to advertise the truth. I will continue to call out everyone that I call out on Twitter, in public, wherever. I will probably after COVID next year start to travel a little bit around the globe, because I want to see some people in the eyes, and I want to ask them again questions that they gave me stupid answers to in online. It's not a threat. I just want to see the person of the face of a liar. How the face of a liar look like, because the entire crypto became a fashion show, and not more than that. And I hope that NFTs are really something special, and that they will maintain also the value of the real items, the real antique, the real books, the real paintings, the real sculptures that people did in a time when nobody was doing that. And I hope that the NFTs are not equilibrium where they will be used to brainwash us more, so we forget everything what's real and actually has a value.
I think that, I don't know what everyone else thinks, but the moment I saw these NFTs being interpreted as digital licensing for GIF images or smartphone pictures, I lost it immediately. I thought, that's not what they're meant to be. They're meant to be a digital record of something physical existing in the real world, right? That's got a real value. So,
and to be,
and it can be a piece of art, it can be a
yes,
photograph, but it's a not some random picture you've uploaded and hopefully sold. Or, yeah, that's never going to take off, is it?
To me, everything was
It's
clear
just
when
dead in the water.
the Twitter CEO and founder sold his tweet, not a tweet,
Mm.
a screenshot of a tweet for that amount of
Yeah, it
money.
was just a joke.
I
Just
mean,
a
you
joke.
can feed
Yeah.
70% of Thailand
Mm.
for a year for what he sold that day, or any other country. So be busy with them. You call them into the
Yeah.
Senate 3 times on a hearing, but they never took any penalty and never
Just do
be
real stuff, not hype.
responsible for violating our privacies, making the profits out of our data,
Mm.
violating GDPR and everything else that we common people cannot even touch or smell. So there is this balance in this world that has to be balanced, and DLTs are a good tool, a weapon to bring that balance. But we need support from the government and from the rest of the world to make it happen really, and to give it a value, not just to fabricate a value.
It's real value, yeah.
If you compare it, simple, Ethereum is worth $2,500 and it can do 20% of what BitShares can do. It has
It's
unlimited
unbelievable.
supply and they can print it as much as they want. Now they can print it as much as they want.
It's unbelievable how much fashion have taken some of these coins up to the top, but discarded others.
That would be it. We were not so happy tonight. We were tired. We are still tired. We still have a lot of work to do. I'll be off to sleep a little bit, and tomorrow we are launching rebranded BitShares.org and news.bitshares.org. And then you can give us your impression and how do you like it. Stake BTS will be soon done, as we plan to move significant amount from the committee account to market making. Mo Institute is becoming legal representative. BitShares Management Group is becoming a legal manager of the blockchain by the worker and the DAO that it needs to be. And I will be appointed owner of the blockchain, so if anyone have a problem, he can go to me directly. And if I have problem with someone, I can impose ownership and say that that person have to be removed from the blockchain, because we cannot allow everyone to be free, as freedom has, it has its nice side, but it also have its much more darker side that is visible publicly lately amongst the people, humanity, worldwide. So we hope that the SEC in US will accept as well. We hope that we will find a way to register that DAO LLC without any issues, and we hope that we will not stop on Singapore, Gibraltar and USA. I hope we will cover the entire planet. And that's it. We don't plan to fly into space like Elon Musk, but we do plan a partnership with him, and we did ordered already the SpaceX internet solutions that should be giving a latency equal on any part of the planet, less than 20 milliseconds, which would enable BitShares to have that 140,000 TPS that currently a single node can prove instantly, but when it comes to the latency and communication between two nodes, that's impossible, just because our internet is not so good. Yeah, 400 milliseconds between Asia and USA in 21st century is not really, it's just everything is just cash today. So how much you pay, that much you get. But okay, they keep the best things for themselves. I will be going out now. Anyone who wants a t-shirt of BitShares, we are giving 3, from each variant 1. They will be also available on the shop of the BitShares Management.group website that is coming up soon online, so you can buy it there later. And until the next, we will tune in again. Possibly when Kevin and Ross are both here, and Michael, and everybody else, so we can have one group session, one group therapy, because you all need it so much after everything that happened in BitShares. Thanks for having us, and thank you, Ross, for joining even late in UK for you on this
Pleasure
day.
to be here. The burger shop is shut, but I might still be able to get the beer, so it's all
Go,
good.
run. Nothing.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah,
Say,
nothing.
I'm done.
I forgot.
I'm done. Never mind. See you guys.
Oh, like and subscribe, guys, please. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. Bye bye.
Thank you.